When people are not around, she just likes to sing and dance. She's not good at it. Socks all over the place, then the dishes, she'll just leave the dishes for like 1 whole week. Yeah, laundry, nobody does it, nobody mops, nobody cleans. That's what life is like when we're alone, I guess.
The question is, can you introduce yourself?
Let me say our name, age, what we study.
Okay, this is Charlene. She's my wife, and she's the singer and a dancer and a maid. Main entertainer in the house.
You said maid.
Yeah, I also thought you said maid.
Main entertainer.
This is Nigel. He's my husband. He always looks like he don't take things seriously, but actually he does. But I still don't feel like he's taking things seriously, even though he does.
That's terrible.
So what was the kind of like inspiration that you all had?
It started off with these man cave pictures. Then we had to do like, oh, I need to moderate it a little bit.
Not really man cave. I think it's something more of a standout compared to will offend other people. I think we've seen a lot of houses like those like Muji-like houses. There's a lot of white and beige and a lot of like neutrals. That's what we want to steer away from. We wanted more bold, like darker designs. When people walk in, they'll be like, ooh, cool.
There was a friend who said that when they walk into the house, right, suddenly it feels like there's a very big change from Singapore. Suddenly you go into New York. I mean, I won't say that our house is New York lah, but there's that effect there. Yeah. Biggest things I had for my previous house was the big space, which is also why the both of us we were able to align our key considerations, which is to have a very big open space for like all these kind of gatherings or different activities.
Yeah, I think usually maybe total about 8 to 10 people in the house, but I think we can do much more than that lah. Which is why we're very happy to have all the space.
What would you call this theme actually?
Our ID calls it that modern minimalism.
Contemporary?
That modern contemporary. I feel like it has a lot of different elements from all the other themes. Do we have industrial? We have a little bit of industrial, which is for the island lights, because it's like cement. But the main colour scheme for this house is dark theme.
We just try to keep everything in terms of colours simple. Then we try to play around with textures. So I don't think there really is a overarching theme. It's just a mix of a lot of like textures around the house. And then I think slowly as we continue to furnish the house, I think it'll get a bit more messy in terms of theme. But I think that's just how every house is lah.
What was the one thing, right, that you Dai must have had inside this house?
The island.
That's my answer. It's just something that we both didn't have in our old houses. We thought it would be a very useful thing to have when we host people. Funny thing is it's underutilized. Aesthetics wise, I think it also kind of completes the whole open kitchen concept kind of look, which we wanted to achieve from the start.
What was the one biggest fear that the two of you had?
My biggest fears that I can really remember is whether the house will turn out as expected. Because we had all these carpentry plans and everything in place, right? We planned to buy our furniture from Taobao. We were a bit afraid as to whether the colour and the textures will fit in nicely, and whether this carpentry, when they come in, it will give the look that we wanted it to give. At the end of the day, it turned out very well.
There was a budget that we set out for the renovation. So we gave our ID a certain budget. Internally, we have a harder baseline that we won't want to cross, which is slightly higher than what we gave the ID lah. Initially, when he gives us the design brief and then the expected cost, it's a certain number. But then when the renovation starts and then you start finding a lot of random things that require extra money to rectify, to beautify, then I think that's where the extra budget helps to like cushion it a bit, and you won't keep compromising your own budget just to make the renovation work.
So how do you actually choose 5th Avenue?
So we went with Danny from 5th Avenue. We were on canvas for quite a while, so we shortlisted 5 interior designer companies based on their portfolio. Danny was also the last ID that we met, I think, and Nigel liked him the most. He was the first one to fully grasp the idea of what we wanted.
The IDs we met, they all met our expectations. There wasn't an ID that we went to and it was like, no, this guy cannot. I think they all kind of understood what we want. With Danny, there was kind of like a challenge. Like when we tell him we want to do something like that, then he say probably cannot lah. Then he will propose an alternative. So I think just have an idea that you can vibe with. I think that's what we had with Danny. And then someone who is realistic, provide an alternative solution. I think that's the most important thing.
Who would you recommend 5th Avenue to?
We recommend Danny to someone who wants quality and also wants someone who's very reliable and someone who will auto come and check the progress himself and to fix it himself.
I think I would recommend Danny to people who know kind of what they want, but not sure if it can be done. Like it's really his professional opinion that successfully completed this whole project.
From what we see, you actually have almost 5,000 followers on Instagram, right? Do you actually consider yourself influencers?
There are quite a few other accounts that have like 10,000 or more, so not influencers per se.
I don't know, it's more like a hobby for us.
Yeah,
Who manages the account?
or both. Usually I'm more in charge of like the processing. Then he'll do so he'll write the captions, right? He'll do the angles and the videoing and stuff. Then I'll put the videos together.
Why did you even start an account like this? Was it spontaneous?
We started this account to track the progress of the renovation and also as a visual diary. It's also partly because we got inspired by other people. Then we also wanted to do something similar. We first saw Fong Family Flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we thought it was very nice and it was very cool to see to look back on how the house used to look like and then over time how it has progressed and everything.
More than just sharing about our own house, I think it was very helpful to see other accounts like posting information about how their renovation went, the troubles they went through. I think it helped us a lot in our journey as well. So we just wanted to do the same for others, hopefully.
What do you like to do at your house when no one's around?
When no one is around, we tend to have more like quotes. Sometimes you just play, right? Then after that, I just start running. Then after that, he'll come and chase you, that kind of stupid things. Or like sing and dance randomly out of nowhere.
Yeah, she just likes to sing and dance. She's not good at it, but she does it anyway. When it's just the two of us, the house is not any less noisy. I think two of us are noisy enough. And then the house is still quite lively. I don't know whether the neighbours will hear us shouting sometimes. We just shout for fun. It's not like we're fighting or anything. We just shout at each other for fun. When people are not around, it's a lot less neat. Yeah, we just throw our socks when we come home all over the place, then the dishes. When I'm not around, she'll just leave the dishes for like, 1 whole week, that kind of thing. Out of control.
One time only.
Yeah, laundry, all that, nobody does it. Nobody mops, nobody cleans. I leave it to the robot lah. So yeah, that's what life is like when we are alone, I guess.
Get a robot.
Okay, that was great. What did your parents say when they first saw your house?
My parents, they were like, wow, 很暗eh, which means, wow, it's very dark.
I think for both our parents, they are a lot more traditional. So bright houses, a lot of white colours. So basically to them, our house is a bit too moody, a bit too cold, but it's our house. So
Did that affect you?
Okay, because my mom was like, I think you should go get some white paint and like paint some walls white because it's very dark. Then I was just a bit like, what? Yeah, you know, like a bit like, why? Yeah, I just finished my renovation, you know, then you want me paint my walls white again. But I also understand that it comes from like good intentions lah. Just that, you know, when parents get naggy, then there's like the irritating feeling.
All the time.
Yeah.
What is your biggest regret for this whole transformation journey?
I think my biggest regret was not putting enough thought into the lighting of the house because we bought all the lights from Taobao. There wasn't really any design thought put into it. So it's just lights to light up the place. I mean, we envisioned the living room with like cove lighting and everything. But I don't think it was possible with this house. And that was what kind of bummed me out a bit.
Yeah, because this area is the balcony, so they had like this, don't know how many cm drop.
So our ID advised against it.
What's your favorite memory in this house so far? And how long have you actually moved in, since you moved in?
We moved in May. This house also has a lot of memories for us lah. Like, because our wedding was in June, so when we moved in, we did a lot of wedding prep. Like, because we need to practice our walk-in, right, with the music. So we'll walk down this whole aisle all the way to the corridor and back to check like whether it will take too long for us to.
Yeah. So we counted the tiles and then we had to practice our mini dance
Oh yeah,
in the
yeah,
living
yeah.
room. So that was just the two of us. The fact that a lot of people like to come here and hang out and play games, and this sort of has become like the designated hangout spot for our friends, which is very nice lah, because we like hosting people also. And then it still hasn't really sunk in that we have our own place yet. So every time we come home, it's just like, this is a nice feeling to have.